You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Bremen Motor Cars in West Palm and Jupiter. A world-class experience. Visit BremenBMW.com. And by Wellington Anti-Aging. Low T? Go to WellingtonAntiAging.com. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
You know, give them the credit. They came out and played a great game, and they got everybody going. And so they got, we got what we deserved. So they kicked our butts. No other way to say it.
Yeah, they did. Wow.
To say the least.
But he thought after game one, everybody's going to overreact, and I think everybody did overreact. That was saying, oh, my gosh, it's going to be the Warriors in 3, or whatever it was. It was just, it was like crazy. Everybody's like going, okay, this thing's all over, and it's like, here come the Rockets right back. So
not only that, but they I didn't realize what the spread on the score was. I just knew they won.
Yeah.
But they won by 22 points.
22 points, yeah. I mean, it really was.
Shellacking.
It was a butt whooping. Steve Kerr, the entire game, he could not have looked more miserable on the bench. I mean, he was feeling every single bucket that was going in. It aged him 10 years last night.
Kind of felt bad for him.
It looked like someone was just full out kicking him in the nuts every bucket. He looked sick. Yeah, they did. They got pounded. Any takeaways? What is your biggest headline you think of the game last night? What was the difference that happened, and why the big turnaround with the Rockets and the Warriors? I mean, they're just saying, oh, it's kind of like we just played a little bit harder. I mean, you talk to Chris Paul and say, what's the difference? Well, you're like in the Western Conference Finals. Like, you're not playing hard. Okay, so this is your remedy here, Chris Paul?
Surprisingly, we didn't change anything. You know, we guarded the same way. I mean, obviously, we played harder, but scheme-wise, we didn't change anything. We just did everything a little harder.
Okay. All right. So there you go. That's the secret. They just did everything a little bit harder.
Did things harder.
They
I'll give
played
you one.
defense.
Yeah, that was one.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a name for you. P.J. Tucker. What? Who? P.J. Tucker. Ricky, what was his stats?
P.J.
22
Tucker.
points.
What?
22 points, yeah.
10 rebounds, I believe, as well, too.
Double-double.
The thing that you're seeing in every single win, it's balance. And it's still a team sport. And you look at what happened last night. Eric Gordon off the bench had 27 points last night for the Rockets to match James Harden. You know, Tucker had 22. Ariza had 19. Chris Paul, even a down night for him at 16, but he's contributing. And then you look at what happened with the Warriors. I think a big part of it, what you didn't have last night for them was Klay Thompson. You know, he had 28 game one. He goes for 8 last night, 2 for 4 from three-pointers.
And it's funny, we were talking about that yesterday when we said, you know, can Klay Thompson, can he be a guy that, you know, keeps up his play and, you know, going 6 for 8 and three-pointers? And, man, when you have a guy like that go cold, well, you can see the difference in the score.
I think they might have figured it out.
Who figured it out?
I think the Rockets might have figured out exactly how to be able to beat the Warriors. If you can be able to now, obviously, this was not their doing that Klay Thompson went cold, but if they are able to keep the shooters cold, they can't bang in the paint against them because. And you look at this alone, the rebounds. You have P.J. Tucker with 7, Capella with 10, Harden with 10. Chris Paul with 4, 3, 2, 2, 2. Everybody was getting rebounds. Warriors, it's like a ghost town. Everybody's under double digits. Yeah. They couldn't bang against them in the paint. So if they can be able to stop the shooters and get inside, they have a better chance of being able to get the ball back on second chance points.
Yeah, but easier said than done. I mean,
know
you can't
That's
make
them.
But you say they figured it out. They didn't figure anything. Now you can't make the Warriors just go cold. I mean, how do you figure out making them go cold?
You have the worst ears on the planet. I literally said they did not cause them to go cold, but they might have figured out that if they can get them to not shoot as well, then they can be able to beat them. That's what I said.
Well, you know, the one stat, I mean, looking at assists and how much they're passing the ball, and, you know, one of the formulas for the Celtics is they feel like when they pass the ball 300 times that they've got a good chance of winning. And so when they get down the court, they want to be able to pass the ball 3 times. What you see in the story, and I think the headline in both game ones, East and West, is that you saw balance in scoring amongst like 5 to 6 players.
Yeah.
The winning team had that balance, and getting the ball around, assists, passing the ball, playing a team sport. When you're going in there thinking you're going to ride, okay, hey, Kevin Durant's going to be our guy. He goes for 38. Yeah, he's there. James Harden does his job. But I mean, it's really a lot of times the story. You look at the LeBron James games, aside from, game 1 where he's, crap the bed.
Yeah.
Game 2, he's strong, but still there's nothing going on in 3, 4, 5. It's all him. The teams that are winning, when you get to this point, you've got to have contributions from 6 players. You've got to have something off the bench.
Yeah, it was a barren wasteland offensively for the Golden State Warriors. That's why. And then you saw Kevin Durant still pulled his weight. What, he put up 38 points or something like that? So,
all right, so where are we then? Because I was actually thinking about this earlier today. This is the most lopsided 1-1 series tie I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, both games are blowouts. So how do we expect, where does this go from here? I mean,
I don't think you can read too much into it. I mean, you've got 2 games in Houston. Now you're going to be going to Oakland, I think, for game 3. So, I mean, is that home court advantage going to be massive for the Warriors? I don't think it's played that way so far. Is Houston harder to play in than Oakland? I don't know that it is. It's completely unpredictable. I think the best part about this is it is unpredictable, and it's actually exciting.
Yeah.
Because if it's the Warriors stomping out the Rockets again, how many people are going to start dialing out of the NBA Finals saying, I mean, this makes it exciting. This is great. To see what happened last night, it is completely unpredictable. And the fact that you're baffled at these lines and saying, I can't tell you what's going on.
yeah. Rockets have to take one in Golden State in order for this to be a series.
This is great for the NBA.
It really is. But that's exactly what Boston putting down 2 on the Cavs is great too, because all of a sudden he's like, holy crap! Now I got to watch on Saturday. I guarantee you that the numbers for Saturday's game, Boston Celtics versus the Cavaliers, is going to be incredible. Everybody's going to be paying attention.
Getting into the finals. Let's say that you see this, I was saying Rockets in 7. Who knows? Let's say that was it. But they battled out. They scraped for 7 games. Let's say that the Celtics close out in 4 over the Cavs. Is that an advantage for the Celtics, or is it a disadvantage to have young, spunky talent sitting there that long watching that many games going on as they're waiting to play in the finals?
I think if they had a team riddled with veterans, it would be an issue. But because their adrenaline's going, but with the kids, I think
do they get psyched out mentally?
I don't know. I mean, I think that Brad Stevens can stop them from doing it. I think that's really what Brad Stevens has kept their head in the game the entire time.
Would it be good for Stevens to maybe tank a game here and just be like, hey, we need a little bit of time?
See what that feels like?
Genius. If he doesn't, we're like, genius coaching Brad.
And you know what? They would.
They would.
Tank a game, take it to 5 or 6 instead. Right. Stretch it out a little bit instead of ending this thing in 4.
Never in a million years would you see that happen.
Keeping him warm.
No, I wouldn't think so.
No, you could put him away. Put him away. Get him a bunch of treadmills. Keep him running until they get to the U.S.
Yes.
Debate's been going on who deserves the MVP. It's down to the 3. You got Harden, LeBron. You got Anthony Davis. I think it's probably a 2-horse race, though, isn't it?
I don't think it's anywhere close to a 2-horse race.
You don't think so?
No.
Really?
You think it's all James Harden?
It's all LeBron.
You think it's all LeBron?
100% LeBron.
Really?
I like this.
Absolutely.
Again.
There's no player on any team that can be able to make or break a team better than LeBron can. If LeBron is doing everything, you'll win. And LeBron turns teams that shouldn't be, like those guys alone should not be in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And because of LeBron, they are there. There is no plus minus better in NBA history than LeBron. He makes a team better, and he has done this with a scrappy team. Like, who's his number 3?
Yeah, SNL's not doing a spoof that shows James Harden and the rest of the Rockets.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. That's it. It's a team effort. Like, he's got Chris Paul. He's got Clint Capella, who is a great center. He's got Trevor Ariza, but he's got players there. Mm-hmm. LeBron, he's got Love and Tristan Thompson.
Larry Nance Jr.
Get the hell out of here.
Who do you like for Rookie of the Year then? You got Ben Simmons, you got Donovan Mitchell from Utah, and you got Jason Tatum from the Celtics.
I guess it's got to be Simmons, right?
I would honestly put Donovan Mitchell above him.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's those two.
Because once again, I think it's going along the same lines, too. It's like if you're going to look at LeBron as being MVP because he was able to do that with a team that was full of basically nobodies, I mean, who the hell else is on the Utah Jazz besides him and Ricky Rubio? Like, I mean, if you look at the Sixers, you have players there. Mm-hmm. By the way, where the hell is Jahlil Okafor?
Oh, that's a good question.
Where the hell is he?
Is he
was
still-
like the next coming of God.
Yeah, where is Okafor?
So bizarre. So, but I mean, if you look at Ben Simmons,
Weird.
Ben Simmons has got Embiid. He's got his players there. You know, he's got like veteran shooters, JJ Redick, stuff like that.
Yeah, but how much does that really play into Rookie of the Year consideration? The MVP I get. You look around, who's the most valuable single player? Who's around them? Who has help? But for Rookie of the Year, I mean, does it really have to matter on who's?
I mean, it's a good question.
teammate?
I think the conversation should go to how I look at Rookie of the Year as most valuable rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to use the same statistics to figure out your MVP, it should apply towards the rookie.
And our jerk move of the night last night goes to the Toronto Raptors, who on Twitter congratulated Dwayne Casey for being one of the finalists.
My God.
Way to go, coach. Gosh, that's cold.
What an ass move.
I mean, that's just cold, right?
Jeez.
Cold.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Ice cold.
Like Toronto cold.
Dang.
Yeah.
You also got Brad Stevens in there. He's getting some love.
For what?
This is for Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year, not done by the peers. This is
totally different.
This is the real deal.
This is the real deal, yes.
I wonder why Brad Stevens getting some love.
Yeah, Quinn Snyder in there from the Jazz.
Quinn Snyder.
Yeah.
Wow.
You see? Okay, so this should be now. Was Brett Brown in there?
No.
So this should be more of an attest to how great Donovan Mitchell is because he was so good this year that his coach has gotten some love.
Can I be 100% honest with you? If you had asked me, if you held a gun to my face and said, "Tell me where Quinn Snyder is today," I would have died. I have no idea Quinn Snyder was the head coach.
We should
of
have
the
let us know
Jazz.
before the show. That could have been a fun bit today.
Damn it! I left my 45 at home.
Could have been a fun bit. Yeah.
If only.
Media figures out who's going to win. Those fans do vote on a few. The awards are going to be announced June 25th, televised from Los Angeles. Coming up here in a couple minutes, man, oh man, got a fun little piece of audio to play from you. The 911 call from Lucas Oliver's house when his wife flipped out on he and his mom. There's audio, and you're going to hear it coming up next.
Get Kevin's other show whenever the hell you want on YouTube and at 640thehurricane.com.
If you think that maybe your wife doesn't support you, you need to talk to Lucas Oliver.
Yeah, I think he's going to a different bracket.
I mean,
Do we feel bad for this guy?
of course.
we
How do, you
have
not,
to.
how do you not feel bad for this guy? You kidding me?
I feel
Like
bad for
Tiger
laughing.
Woods got the crap
So
kicked
bad.
out of him, but he was like doing pills and cheating and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Oh
This
my
guy just had a bad round of 18, man.
Oh yeah.
And his mom got involved.
Gosh, that's the worst thing ever. Yeah, he's playing the TPC Sawgrass over the weekend. It's Saturday. Comes home. He's probably a little bit, down in the face. Didn't have a great day. Opens up the door, and bam, there's his wife. I don't know what her state was, but all I can say is that
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
no, I don't think it was coke. I don't think it was coke. I got it narrowed down to two things.
Oh,
Because
really?
when you tell the arresting officer that this is why cops get shot in the face,
Yeah, it's never a good idea.
that is either a phrase inspired by booze
Yeah.
and probably the hard stuff,
Yeah.
or pills, or maybe both.
A little bit of both? I could see a little bit of both.
I don't know. I can't
Bath
wait to hear
salts,
the-
maybe? Did she try to chew anybody? Was
No,
there
she did
chewing
have the
involved?
claws out.
Okay.
She did have the claws out.
Okay, so we take bath salts off there.
Yeah. So she goes after her husband first, Lucas Glover.
Yeah.
His mom apparently gets involved. Then she carves her up a little bit. And then the cops.
Catwoman.
Oh my gosh. I mean, she's just like.
Carves her up a little bit.
Like a wet cat, she is.
Yeah.
She just springs on it. She's like, oh my God, what am I going to do with this woman? Here is some of the audio released from Saturday night. Now, this is up in St. Johns County because they were playing near Jacksonville. This is the dispatcher getting the initial call. Now, the call actually starts with Lucas Glover's wife. This is Krista. She's claiming that it was her mother-in-law that attacked her.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's such a twisted tale.
Yeah, what a twist.
Yeah, here's the call to 911.
911, what is your emergency?
I've been attacked by my mother-in-law.
Huh?
Is she still there?
Yes, she's in here. She's locked herself into the room, and she's attacked us.
Okay, how did she attack you?
Okay, so what happens then? The connection gets broken. That's all the dispatcher hears, and she's like going, okay, obviously we got a mess here. Something is going on. So she calls right back, and this is Lucas Glover, who then comes in and takes the phone in this altercation to try to talk the 911 dispatcher. Like, okay, all right, I'm the sane one here.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I think we've got our lines crossed here. This is the husband, the sane one of the bunch.
The sane one. He actually did say.
So
he
Lucas
did say that.
He right now is just in the midst of just who knows what's going on. But his wife, I don't know what's going on with Chris, a hot mess, and his mom, which I don't know anything about what she's got going on, but he is caught in the middle.
Wowzer.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So this is the hot mess that is going on right now.
Okay, can you tell me what's going on there?
Yeah, my wife is called Judy, my mom, and now she's trying to blame it on my mother, which is not the case at all. My wife has gone crazy. So.
Can I talk to your wife real quick?
No, you cannot. When the deputies get here, they need to talk to the male. That would be me, because these other two are out of their head at the moment.
Wow.
This is a terrible day for him.
A horrible day.
Wow.
Hey, he shoots a 78 that day, comes home, and this is what he's
Like
faced
had
with.
it too. He's like, you need to come here and talk to the male because I am the only sane one. These two, they flew the cuckoo's nest.
When the police arrive, Lucas Glover, he tells them, he's like, going, look, when I play poorly, and this doesn't sound like it's isolated because he tells them, he's like going, yeah, when I play poorly, she likes to start arguments. So this happens, like, he knows, he's probably out there. I mean, imagine this. You're having a bad day. You're not just frustrated because you're looking up at the leaderboard and you're not on it. You just are like going, I'm going to get my ass chewed when I get home tonight. You know what is coming up.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
What a nightmare.
He needs to go with like an alternate identity or something like that.
Yeah, so there was a little bit more. There's another clip, and then he says, he's like going, look, when you get here, my wife, she's going to lie to you. That's why I answered her phone. She's telling lies, and none of it's the truth. So they show up, and it looks like he was bathing a cat. So he's all cut up. He's just got lacerations all over his arm. And he told the officers initially that he would provide a sworn affidavit to pursue charges, but then after they get his wife in the patrol car, somewhere probably right after she says that this is why cops get shot in the face, he says, maybe I won't press charges. So
she's got enough bad coming onto her right now.
What is this guy doing? I mean, it's like the opposite effect. I mean, when you have like an abusive relationship, a lot of times the woman doesn't press charges. There's sympathy for some reason. It's the opposite effect with this guy. His wife is beating him up. Like, do something, man.
It's a weird thing. Yeah, it's the weird thing. That's why domestic issues, you don't know. But
when you said that, though, I thought about that. You're on like the 15, 16 hole, and you know this is going to end well. It's all you're thinking about.
You just double bogeyed.
Yeah, you're ass whooping on your way home.
You're sweating now because you're thinking when I get home, my wife's just going to punch me in the face.
Your phone is blowing up. You're getting texts. You suck.
You're like, why do I always have to play televised games?
You're a loser. You're a P-bomb. That's what she said. Remember when he showed up at home? Right. She called him another word for cat.
Yeah.
And then went
feline.
Claws out. Oh my gosh.
Full tabby on him.
Okay, the other unbelievable story today.
Shame.
This is amazing, man. Hey, look, I've had retail situations where I wasn't happy. And I thought, there's got to be a way I can show the people here at this store my frustration. Mm-hmm. It's happened. It's happened to all of us. But never, even in my worst day, have I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop my pants right now. I'm going to take the biggest dump on the floor, and then I'm going to pick up my turd, and I'm going to throw it at him.
Oh. That's how you get back at somebody.
Have you seen this video of this woman in this Tim Hortons?
Nope.
Oh, I thought you were talking. It was like sound like it's in like Brevard Zoo or something like that.
No, I know. Yeah, it sounds like I'm describing. This is like a chimp move.
Yeah.
Like this is something you would expect that this is what's going on, but no. You've got this woman that, I mean, and it was like she needed to go. Like it wasn't like she had to.
Goodness
boom,
gracious.
gets it, throws, chucks it right towards and then she goes for the napkins, wipes her behind, and starts chucking the pooed napkins at the people at the it's unbelievable. You're like, what is going on?
What?
Poo napkins?
Poo napkins. I mean, it's like
doo-doo paper.
What is happening with these people?
Even monkeys are like, this woman's an animal.
Yeah.
She's an animal.
And Tim Hortons too. Like, I mean, what the hell could have gone so bad?
That's what I want to know. That's what we don't know exactly what happened. What, I mean, set her off so badly that she thought that she had to do this.
We've got to really dig deep into this, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of investigative journalism.
There's so many questions, including, did they keep the donuts or did they throw them out?
That's a good question. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, what do you do when poo has been thrown around your store? You think you got to lock it down. Hazmat's got to come in.
Yes.
And I mean, health code violations should just be through the roof.
I can imagine. I've been in a situation like at Disney World and the hotels, the different pools.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they call out code brown, and everybody has to leave the pool. So I mean that pool closes down for a solid 45 minutes to get it cleaned.
We've invited Jordan in here because she's worked retail and she has actually seen this before. You would think this is such an isolated
She's
case.
seen it before.
No.
Listen, I've seen some stuff before.
It's
10 years of restaurants.
It is a massive problem in our society today.
Why are people pooping and throwing it? What's going on?
Now, where were you working, Jordan, and what situation happened here?
I was working at a supermarket, and
down here, or is it up in Buffalo?
No,
Okay.
down in
A South Florida supermarket.
Yeah,
I at least
South
wanted
Florida
to blame
supermarket.
it maybe like on the Bills Mafia or something, but it was down here. Okay.
And we had watched the surveillance cameras after the fact, but an older man had walked down the aisle, and there was like one of those tiny trash cans at the end of each aisle, and he just dropped his pants and
Pooped in it.
crapped in the trash can.
Why? Was it?
I don't know.
What?
I mean, he was pretty far from where the bathroom was, so I don't know
Okay.
if he thought maybe he couldn't make it, but
Well, it's an older
So
guy.
how do you handle that when you realize, and do you have like a code brown? Do they have like something that goes over?
Shut it down.
not necessarily a code brown, but yeah, then we had to,
Okay, but then
throw
who-
away that trash can.
I would think
do you,
so.
do you have one employee that it is always known? Is it like low person on the totem pole, or is there a designated someone who's defecated in aisle 3 guy or girl that has to go take care of
He gets
it?
a couple
just
extra
the
vacation
No,
days.
just the janitor.
And it was in a trash can it
It was
happened?
in a trash can.
Okay, do you clean out the trash can and resell it, or is that thing just lost
Well,
damage?
no, it
Sell
was,
it.
no, it wasn't being sold. It was property
We
of the
ain't losing a
store,
penny.
but I
Oh,
think
okay.
they just threw it away. I don't think anyone wanted to deal with that.
Resell it.
Well, I don't know.
No,
The
but you
question-
want to know the worst part of this whole thing?
Wait, there's a.
Yeah,
It's worse.
He just
Okay.
he just pulled his pants up and kept going.
Oh, and he left.
like it was no big deal.
Like
But-
shopping, like didn't wipe, nothing.
But the only
Wow.
problem, and the real problem with that, you know what it says? I've done this before.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing that was startling. It was quick. It was. I'll tell you the one time that I was at the gym and I put too much weight on the squat machine, and it was a bad mistake to wear white workout pants that day.
Oh.
I immediately, as I knew it was as bad as it could be, and it was. The look of horror on my face and the
no.
confusion to not know what to do, and how I just scooted out of that gym. You would say, this guy, he's a rookie. He doesn't do this often. I didn't have that kind of game face. This guy.
he kept shopping.
Yeah, this guy.
That's a pro.
This is a guy
Yeah.
who says, when I've got to poo, I just find something and I dump in it and I go about my day.
Yep, literally.
Now, what's worse, pooing in someplace
true.
that's not a bathroom, or pooing on the floor of the bathroom? Because it's like you made the effort to go there.
Yeah, but you're sending a message to somebody when you poo on the floor in the bathroom, and it's almost her situation. It could be an accident. It could be like maybe you just had too many bran muffins. There could be
Probably.
there could be something that happened
Well,
there.
the poo on the floor in the bathroom happened to me. That's why.
Yeah, when you make it into the bathroom, you're sending a message to them. It's like, F you, dude. F you.
Oh, you've
I'm
seen
here.
that.
I could have, but I'm telling you, there's something I don't like about you. That's
Wow.
almost as gutsy as the woman who chucks the poo in the Tim Hortons. She's sending a
By
message.
the way, watch the video.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It is ridiculous.
It's unreal.
And
Ew.
like she literally poos on the floor. And like seconds after that poo hits the floor, she bare hand grabs that and just
She
chucks
had
it
a
off.
plan. She had a plan.
Disgusting.
She's like, I need a weapon, and she's like, I don't have a taser, I don't have a gun, but I got to
She
take a
created
poo.
her own weapon.
She did, and it's honestly, you can bring out a gun, you can bring out a taser, you bring out a turd, and I will run faster
Faster than anything.
than the other two.
I might be able to back down that gun. but
Right, you could miss. It's
yeah,
just,
the
you
last
just-
thing I need is pink
right.
eye.
I'm more horrified by your third option than I am anything else. It is an unbelievable video. If you've not seen it, it is well worth your time.
What a world.
Coming up here in a couple of minutes, we'll tell you why it's so advantageous to be a fat pitcher. Coming up next.
It's Derek Jeter's favorite sports show, just like Derek Jeter is Florida's favorite owner. Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
So you were depressed as a Dodgers fan yesterday when you were listening to our show, and we were pointing out how you went from probably the best team in the National League to the worst in a matter of 6 months.
Happened quick.
Happened so fast. Well, today you're doubly depressed because you just lost your second in a row to the bottom dweller Miami Marlins. But that's not the worst part of it. This is your 6th loss in a row to a last-place team this year.
Not a good team.
In a row. Wow. The Dodgers can't beat anybody, and they do really poorly against crappy teams.
Well, I mean, I think we can officially say that they are also a crappy team.
Oh,
it's safe to say.
They are. They got the exact same record right now as the Marlins. They're both 16-26 now.
That's incredible. The Marlins and the Dodgers have the same record.
Didn't they start off hot, too?
I don't know where they – I don't know how they did. I don't know. I don't remember them being anything with an exclamation point, but I kind of slept on them, and I wasn't really paying attention because I was so focused on Yankees, Red Sox, Mets. Mets did start hot. That I know. I think they started 11-1, and
I think that's what I got confused about, yeah.
They've cooled off. Yeah, the Dodgers. I wasn't looking because the Dodgers, they're out west, and you're like going, okay, well, they're the Dodgers, and you look at what they've got. They've got Puig, and they've got the pitching, and they're going to be there. So don't worry about it. Now I don't know. I mean, yeah, we're still early on.
No, but this is pretty bad, though.
And I don't know when exactly you hit the alarm bell, but I think you're getting close.
Soon, yeah.
It seems soon, but you're 10 games under 500 right now if you're the Dodgers. And, yeah, you go on a hot streak, and you can erase that and claw yourself back out relatively quickly.
You have the ability to be able to do it. You do have the players to be able to do it.
You do. And
they do. That's the difference.
You right now have just got to be saying to yourself, hey, guys, we're paying you all collectively. Yes, all you sorry asses sitting here on this bench, we're paying you guys $187 million. We're paying you $187 million. That team that just smoked you again, they're paid $99 million. You make basically double what that team that just beat you for the second time in a row is making. And yeah, that's why you're really upset if you're a Dodgers fan. If you're a Marlins fan, you're dancing on the ceiling, baby. Hello, Lionel Richie.
That's right.
This is a great day because, I mean, here you are. Things are actually rosy for the Marlins who, chopped about maybe $22 million off their payroll from last year. And through 42 games this year, or last year, they were 15-27. Same time this year, they're 16-26. They're actually a game better this year with 22 more in the kitty.
Astounding.
Than they were last year.
So are we coming up to the moment where we're saying that this whole experiment that Derek Jeter has done in Miami sort of makes sense?
It's borderline working at this point. As much as it can work in May compared to last year, it's borderline working.
It's working until I give you one more number.
Uh-oh.
And you tell me what it is. 5,721. What is that number? And what is the problem?
The attendance.
The attendance.
That's the problem.
But now this only proves how terrible Miami fans are because that has been taken over and over again is that they won't go see a team until they win. And Miami fans are like, no, we're always going to go see our
screw
team.
You, Mr. New York.
5,000
I don't want to hear
people. Listen, I swear.
We're in a Jets shirt right now. You trash Miami fans. I don't want to hear you.
If you went to Madison Square Garden to go see a Knicks game and they were all in wheelchairs, it'd be packed.
Please. Give me a break with the Knicks.
I swear. But that's the way it is. Like that, But that also doesn't help.
Jeter was talking about it, and he's discouraged. He's discouraged.
Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah. I think they got him right after the losing streak that the Marlins just went on where they lost 6 of 8, and, he was down. But the attendance, and that's it. That's why Derek Jeter today, despite those fun little numbers I threw out a second ago, he is looking at 5,721. And that, to me, overshadows however good you feel about 2 wins over a Dodgers team that, for whatever reason, sucks now. So that's the big problem. So I think Derek Jeter, that's the first one he looks for. That's the one that's the most depressing. That one overshadows anything he feels rosy about.
5,000 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
At a baseball game, professional baseball game.
You're talking Roger Dean Stadium accommodates your crowds now.
Yeah.
Comfortably.
You're right.
Exactly.
There's still seats.
You want to kick up your feet on a chair? You can find a field.
Yeah. There's
doing all right.
There's women putting purses on a chair
That's right.
and stuff like
You're
that.
doing all right. I started looking, I was checking out the Dodgers payroll. I started looking a little bit into the Marlins, just kind of curious. They cannot feel good about Wei Yin Chen. He's the third highest paid Marlin. $10 million.
Wei Yin Chen?
Yes. His ERA, around 10?
It was 10. His ERA matched his salary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Good
third
gosh.
highest paid Marlin. 10% of the total payroll is to that scrub.
Oh, that is horrendous.
Yeah. JT Realmuto last night, who hit the game winner in the 6th inning, $2.9 million this year.
Well.
Yeah.
That's incredible. $10 million, 10% of the payroll is to Wei Yin Chen?
Yeah.
You just blew my mind.
I hear
man.
you. There's a couple problems there.
Oh, my God.
Bartolo Colon took a line drive right in the gut.
I love this guy.
Impressive, right? He composed himself, threw the hitter out at first, and he said, "It's okay. I got a lot of belly." So, we got a fun little challenge here for everybody today. Who weighs more?
Oh.
Okay. I'm going to give you Bartolo Colon versus CC Sabathia.
Oh, man.
Who weighs more? What do you think, Ricky Bobby?
Bartolo.
Okay. Diener.
It looks like Bartolo Colon, but CC Sabathia might
He
be
doesn't need your
taller.
explanation.
Go
He
CC
needs yes or no on.
CC Sabathia. You telling me not to be long-winded? Look who you're talking to. CC Sabathia.
What do you got for us, Jordan?
I go with Ricky Bobby and pick Bartolo.
You're going to go with Bartolo Colon. Diener is correct.
Hey, I told you got to work it out.
I
CC
don't know why you
Sabathia
go with me.
weighing in at 300 lbs. Bartolo Colon is lying at 285.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is a lie.
This is true. You probably should have won that.
285 in his socks.
Yes.
This guy's like 350.
Oh my lord.
All right, let's do a
Monster.
father-son battle here. I got for you Cecil Fielder
Oh.
versus son Prince Fielder. Who you got, Ricky Bobby?
Prince Fielder.
Prince Fielder was enormous. Has to be Prince, right?
Okay. What do you think, Jordan?
I'll go with the dad.
Cecil Fielder is our winner.
Really? That's not good for him.
Shades out his son,
No, not
280 to
good.
275.
Oh,
they're
never
right
go
there.
to these games.
Yeah, they're right there.
only
I
5
mean,
pounds.
It's honestly, it's a Thanksgiving meal and it's a toss-up. They are the same body. All right, final one here. Who weighs more? Tubby pitcher David Wells versus former pitcher Babe Ruth.
Ooh.
Who weighs more, Ricky Bobby?
I'm gonna say Wells because back in the day they didn't have as many fatty foods that they would consume on the regular.
Babe Ruth is famous for gunking down nothing but hot dogs and beer, and I
Yeah.
think that's when he's on the field.
Yeah, no, I still think.
Okay.
I still think Wells.
Diener?
Are you
That's
googling
a tough
it?
one. No, I'm not googling.
Are you googling
No,
it?
I'm not googling.
Is he cheating?
He's
Totally.
It's on my
cheating.
This
notes.
is some crap.
Look, I'm showing. I'm on my notepad. Okay.
What are you doing? A grocery list in
I'm
the middle of the
taking
show?
notes for the show.
He's
all right?
dialed out.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Dialed out.
He's writing
Taking notes.
haikus.
Is it?
David Wells, Babe Ruth. Who you got, Diener?
I'm going with David Wells. I feel
Okay.
like we have a more accurate weight for David Wells.
And Jordan?
He's acting
I
like
don't-
Babe Ruth was
Babe
born in
Ruth.
the 1800s.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's the fast
I think they still had scales.
Skills
Did
didn't work
they
as well.
even have scales
They had
back
to use
then?
sand. It was a. What do you think
Babe
here, Jordan?
Ruth.
Babe Ruth is our winner,
Oh,
Jordan.
wow.
Jordan wins 254 for Babe Ruth, and David Wells claimed to weigh 248.
I don't believe it for 1 second. Not 1 second.
He looked like Jared Lorenzo.
Yes. That dude was pushing 3 bills when he pitched that perfect game. Give me a break.
Man, I love this little back and forth. Nick Saban says that UCF, not national champs. Nice try. You guys are a joke. Scott Frost has a response. I'll tell you what it is next.
Yep, he's here too. It's Kevin's Other Show, right here on 640 The Hurricane.
It's got a fun little back and forth. Nick Saban was asked, hey, you're national champs, but so is UCF. Nick Saban said, yeah, right. Said, I guess anybody has the prerogative to claim anything, but self-proclaimed is not the same as actually earning it. And there's probably a significant number of people who don't respect people who make self-proclaimed sort of accolades for themselves. Basically, Saban is saying, I don't respect you at all, UCF.
Well, yeah, because it's kind of a dumb move.
Yeah. He said he had a lot of respect for what they accomplished. He said going undefeated, that's no small feat.
Obviously. Yeah. That goes without saying.
His backhanded compliments are legendary.
I like what you've accomplished. It's too bad it wasn't what I accomplished.
But he said that UCF can make every claim that they should have been in the playoff. I get that, but we have a system. And it's not fair for the people who went through the system and earned their way playing really, really good teams. I mean, really, 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 really good teams.
Really good.
Saban.
They were like so good.
And really tough games. It's like, okay, how many reallys can we work in here, Nick?
It's like, gee, you're going over the 240 characters here, pal.
Yeah, he had a lot of reallys.
He said it's not quite fair to them for somebody else just to decide and claim a national championship. So he dismisses it. Says, yeah, nice try, guys, but sorry, we went through the gauntlet that is the college football playoff. Scott Frost was then asked about Nick Saban's comments and took a little bit of a shot back at Alabama. He said, well, yeah, okay. I guess you could also say that not all of the Crimson Tide's 17 claimed national championships themselves are legit.
Ooh.
And he brings up a really good point about national championships and what schools claim. There's a lot of times a debate, especially when you got in the era of almost, even before the AP, they're like going, hey, we're national champs. Well, who says? I even know, like being an Ohio State fan, there's some people like going, the Buckeyes have 11 national championships, and I think they claim maybe 8 or 9. But it's such a figure where sometimes you don't know. And then what a joke of a system we have really had until the college football playoff.
It's still kind of jokey there, too.
You're right. And you could even say, I don't even know if like sometimes I would call for a legitimate championship right now.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I was very unimpressed is my Ohio State Buckeyes have started doing some of the scheduling. And I'm like going, okay, we added Akron, yay.
All right,
and
Zips.
I'm looking at who else they're adding, and I'm starting to notice that they aren't necessarily, and they do have like a Texas coming up. They've got Oregon in a couple of years, but they started there going aggressively for like, okay, let's try to play 2 really challenging games. Ohio State learned a valuable lesson last year because they're like, if we wouldn't have scheduled Oklahoma,
right?
Yeah, we had an awful loss to Iowa, but that would have been 1. We'd have been in that playoff. We just missed it. That Oklahoma game did nothing for us. Now, arguably, you tell Ohio State, yeah, but the year before when you beat Oklahoma, that's the reason why you got in and then got trounced by Clemson. But still, so it does bring up a debate that I think, in a sense, what happened last year with Alabama and Ohio State looking at that, I think you're going to see some schools saying, I'm not sure, they keep trying to tell us that there's so much value in scheduling somebody great. But I'm not sure that the College Football Playoff Committee last year backed that up. Because I think they said, we're going to look at wins and losses a little bit more than the quality of the opponents that you play.
Yeah, it's a fine line because when you have, like Ohio State is a perfect example. If they had played Oklahoma and won and lost to Iowa like they did,
they'd have gotten in.
They would have gotten in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you said, where does it really matter? Because for somebody like Ohio State, the big names, Alabama, Ohio State, USC, Miami, a lot of these big names, do you really need to schedule those early non-conference games that are so tough?
You should, and it's up to the College Football Playoff Committee to make sure that they make it a point and schools fully understand the value of that. Because when you are playing patsy teams the first 4 games of the season, and when you're the SEC and you're scheduling some FCS team next to the last game when you should be playing a great opponent and the season should be getting more exciting, not less. That
right,
to
at
me
the end of the season.
That's bad for your product. You got it. You want these teams scheduling the best opponents they can.
But they should, for us, for the fans, for the guys who like to talk about it. It's great theater. It's great to watch. But does it make a lot of sense? And here's why I say it. If you're in Alabama, you're one of these schools, Ohio State, where you are going to be going against top-notch opponents within your conference. You are going to be playing in a conference title game. So now you're just making yourself have a harder schedule. You already have a hard schedule as it is. If you go undefeated and beat those lesser teams, you still can have quality wins without giving yourself a tougher schedule.
The next couple of years is going to say that. And if you're in a Power 5, it's kind of telling you, obviously, UCF, you're going to have to schedule the best and beat the best outside of your conference if you want any kind of chance. And you probably won't ever get into the Final 4. But I think the Power 5s are going to look. And those fringe teams, your 5, 6, number 7 teams that just don't make it in are kind of really analyze their schedule and say, okay, do we benefit truly by playing tougher opponents, or should we lay up? And because we play in a Power 5, that'll be enough that if we go undefeated, we'll get in.
I mean, I think they should just get rid of the national championship game.
Oh, come on, Ricky. What are you doing?
Because there's no way to be able to please that. Because of the way that college football is set up in the first place, and you have your ranked...
You don't like the 4 teams?
I mean, it's fine, but that's still flawed. And if you go to 6, that's still flawed because of the way that these conferences are set up. Like UCF's conference is nowhere near the SEC. It's nowhere near the ACC. There's no way to balance that out.
4 just feels too tight.
It is too tight.
Because you're having these. And if you went to 6 or 8, then I think you would see value in scheduling good opponents. Ultimately, I think what you want to do, you want to craft college football so you get to the best product possible. The best product possible is having all the Power 5s playing 9 conference games, not allowed to schedule FCS opponents, and then you look at your outside of the conference schedule, and hopefully you're at least getting one solid game.
Who's scheduling these games?
It's the athletic directors.
Okay, so this is what they need to do, is they need to do it like professional sports does. The college committee that is one picking these teams to be in these things need to pick their opponents.
Okay, but here's the other problem too, is that these smaller schools like the Akrons or Miami's case, like a Savannah State or somebody like they might play, or Florida State's play somebody like that. For lack of a better term, they prostitute themselves out. These lower schools.
Oh yeah.
You know,
well, it's like FAU played for $1 million against Alabama.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the argument for some of those teams. So if you did maybe some kind of like profit sharing thing, you had a better schedule. And you're right. Who schedules the NFL games? You know, it's not
the league does.
The league does. So
and that's what it should be done here.
Right. If you're going to have a national champion, that could be the argument.
And that's why I'm saying, might as well just get rid of the national champion, because there's no way that is ever not going to be a flawed system.
Yeah.
Unless it's created in that way that everybody, their games get picked out by the committee.
So Scott Frost, does say, yes, UCF shouldn't have been the national champs. There's a system. We weren't in it. But, again, it does bring up, let's keep discussing, stay in the conversation. These teams that are not in the Power 5s that can beat the big boys and don't get accredited for it should. Bill Hancock, the executive director of the playoff committee, says he does not expect any changes to be made to the current 14 model. So they're going to stay the course for right now. So things are going to get worse.
And if Frost thought that UCF was going to be able to beat Alabama, he's smoking rocks. So he would have got mowed over.
Well, and again, it's that 2-game gauntlet getting into it.
Yeah.
That's cute that you have that one possible upset, but then you now got to play Alabama.
Yeah. It should at least be 6 teams to give, the UCFs, the Boise States, these other teams that are the fringe teams to make it in. It should be at least 6.
How many years does it take to get there?
It's going to be at least probably another 3 to 5 years before they change their mind on this.
I think that's being very liberal. I think it's going to be at least another 8 to 10
Oh, don't say that. You make me sad.
I got to do it quick. I only have 10 years left.
Come on, man.
Hey, you want to sound off on this? You can. Just find us on Twitter. It's Kevin's Other Show. You can find us on YouTube as well, and the podcast. So easy to listen to. You listen whenever you want, and when we bore you, you just fast forward. Check it out, Kevin's Other Show.
You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Wellington Anti-Aging. Low T? Go to WellingtonAntiAging.com. And by Bremen Motor Cars in West Palm Beach, a world-class experience. Shop BremenPorsche.com now. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.